Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Mike got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle at the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25 to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Sean and Maya in the morning on this House Music Monday and Bears Victory Monday, baby. It is here, finally. And I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Sean Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Listen, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple, but wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Sean and Maya in the morning, like that page as well. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll also be following my show, Sean and Maya in the morning. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real. All right, listen, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button. Okay. Also click the notification button. That's the bell that's right next to it. And that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching us on our mobile app, yay. Wait, please don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. We have a mobile app. Listen, you can take us with you on the go. So wherever you get your apps from, it doesn't matter whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Woolworth, Venture, wherever you get them from. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Sean and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew. And I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence, Counsel III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. And if you're watching this on a Roku channel, well, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Come on, man. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. Hell, we're live there, right, Mickey Ficky now. That's where we at. That's what I'm talking about, baby. We're there. We are live now. So listen, if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. All right, go to TV. Or if you have multiple TVs, go to all your TVs. Not all at once, of course. And download Sports Zone Chicago's channel. All right, put it right smack dab in the middle, right there between Netflix and Apple Plus and Prime and Max and Hulu and Disney Plus and Paramount Plus and Stars and Showtime. Put it right there. All right, download it right there. So every time a show goes live, you can watch this live in effect on the big screen. Oh, boy. I almost forgot something. On the big screen, okay? Listen, now you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy now. If you want to follow me, just me, personally online, you want to know what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. You want to know what I did? Well, here's what I did. I mean, nice and easy for you folks. Now, and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Sean Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. And if you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IG and you do it just for the gram, But just follow her at Maya_Akai. MAYA_AKAI. Listen, we have a phenomenal show, but I need you to get interactive with us today. So listen, whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our mobile app, listen, do us a favor. Leave a question or comment on that particular platform. It'll come up here in the thread. All right, we'll get it up on the screen. We'll talk about it. We'll incorporate it into the show. And listen, that's why this is the best Chicago sports talk show. Definitely Chicago morning sports talk show around. Why? It's you. Your questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, bring them. Bring them all. Don't sing it. Bring it. We want to hear it. Ain't nobody scared over here. Okay? All right. Man, here's what I want to see. Let me tell you. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Oh my goodness. Listen, I am fired up. Because there's Victory Monday. I haven't had that in a while. Okay? Haven't had that in a while. So, pardon my French if I'm a little giddy. But let's see who's in the chat. Man, the chat is jumping. Let's check it out. My man Cornelius Squalls in the house. What up? What up? What up? It is. What's Cornelius? You're darn right, baby. It's Bears Victory Monday. So I got my Bears Victory chain on today, and I'm fired up. Yes. Cornelius, thank you for tuning in. Patty, Lara, happy Victory Monday, baby. Yes, you got it. You got it. Levette Lee, she's in the house. Well, why did you put that one on? That's amazing. There it is. Hey, Sean. Levette, thanks for tuning in, I appreciate it. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr., he's in the house. I love it. I love it. I love it. Woo. My son Walls and the Mickey, Ficky, House, good morning. The house music, Bears Victory Monday. It is lit. It is sweet. Yeah, baby. I like that kind of party. Patty's going, happy house music. Bears Victory Monday. Yes, yes, yes. My man, B. Livingston. What up, B? He's calling in from the West Coast, man. Top of the morning to you, Papa. You're darn right. It's over a calendar. Yes. First home win in over a calendar year. Woo, Charlie. Let me tell you, it was, man. Who else we have here? Kevin Brinson. Good morning, Papa. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I think JF1 can incorporate the positive side of Tyson Bagent's play into his own way of playing, and in return strengthen his game and finally improve his play style and take this team to the next level. Very nice. I agree. One of the things I think he could do is make sure he just gets the ball out quicker. But see, the only thing is you got to remember, Justin's a big game hunter. All right. Justin is a big game hunter. All right. So that's the only issue that, they're just different. All right. They're different. But listen, thank you all for tuning in. And if Patty and Junior are around, you know what that means. That means Jeremiah is watching somewhere close as well. Big shout out to Jeremiah. I also want to say a big shout out to Armando Emeterio Lara the fourth. He's not watching because he is at school. But you know what? Dito, Jojo, Jeremiah, good morning. Oh man, we have a phenomenal show. And I can't wait to get it started. At 10 o'clock, you know what time it is. Monday morning quarterback Erik Kramer will join us here on the show to break down the Bears, and in particular, Tyson Bagent's performance. I want to see what he has to say. Junior, I do agree. I think they, before everybody gets started on Tyson Bagent is the new quarterback and you QB1. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. before you start that nonsense, okay? Before you start that nonsense, first of all, you have to commit to running the ball when Justin is QB1. Do you realize we ran the ball 38 times yesterday? 38 times. For about $1.75, $1.73, $1.78, somewhere in there. About $1.75. 38 times. Run the ball with Justin 38 times. When Justin has played quarterback, run the ball. Offensive line, hats off. I spoke with two of those guys I talked to down on right in the locker room yesterday. I talked to Tevin Jenkins in the locker room yesterday. And, man, they both love the fact that they were able to run the ball and impose their will on the Raiders. We'll say the Vikings. The Raiders. Which, by the way, Raider Nation was rolling deep yesterday. Deep at Soldier Field. Deep. Brandon, believe you me, I'd love to tell Coach Getsy, but I'm not there on Thursday. The only time we have the media has access to him. But it wasn't just 12 personnel. All right, they had 21 personnel. There are oftentimes even a couple 22 personnels in there. You had 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, and you're coming downhill. Kari Blasingame in front of Dante Foreman. You know, so happy for this kid, that young man. He's not a kid, young man. I'm so happy for him. First 4 weeks, he was just a numbers game. You know, the Bears didn't want to have 3 running backs on the roster, on the game day roster, which is a mistake. The issue is special teams. Well, okay. But he showed yesterday why he needs to be on this roster every week. You know, this dude was on one yesterday. And he was probably just pissy. He was probably just pissed. I've been inactive the first 4 weeks of the season. There's no reason for it. Yes, my Bears victory chain came in Saturday. But here's the thing. You saw what he could do. This is why they signed him. You saw what he could do last year. This is right around the time where they traded Christian McCaffrey. Carolina did, the Panthers. So as he steps up, he gains over 900 yards once McCaffrey was traded. He has a downhill style. He's got some good wheels. He's a powerful runner. He runs through arm tackles, shoulder tackles. Like, you need to hit him and wrap him up and bring him down because he is not going down on first contact. Cornelius. Yes, I agree. Now, I'm not saying he should have got the bulk of the carries. No, he should have been active, at least. He should have been active. But it's a numbers game and special teams. But you know what? Now you better figure some stuff out. Because Khalil Herbert, you should be feeling the heat. And I know you should be happy for your running back, compadre, group mate. But it also means, man, this dude is he runs hard. As Khalil Herbert does too. I'm not saying he doesn't. All I'm saying there's competition. Roschon Johnson. All right, you got a little longer leash. You're a rookie. All right. Most people didn't expect you to start. Some people had you starting by the end of the year, but you know, the one good is a good and bad thing. Good thing is this. We don't have to hurry to get this guy back. Roschon Johnson, take your time. Khalil Herbert, take your time. just realize when you get back that Dante Foreman may have really got a great grip on that starting running back spot. And don't worry, you'll still get time. And they better give time. They better continue to switch. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is the formula. This is the formula. And I know this is a passing league. I know everybody wants to see 350 yards and 4 touchdowns, blah, 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 blah. That's not the formula this year. When Justin comes back, you still need to have the ball run 30 plus times, 35 times minimum. Do you realize what that's going to do for Justin? Do you realize when the offensive line imposes their will and you have to bring a guy down to the box? Isn't this what I've been saying all year? Haven't I been saying run the God-blessed ball? Haven't I been saying they don't have an identity? And I asked Eberflus that yesterday. I said, is this your new identity? Are you going to be a running team? And will you be a running team when Justin comes back? He's like, well, week to week it changes. I'm like, not the answer I wanted to hear. Definitely not the right answer. Because the right answer would have been, yes, we're going to be a running team with or without Justin. So why would you change it with Justin? Because for all you people who are Bagent this, Bagent that, get rid of Justin, trade Justin, Bagent didn't throw the ball more than 15 yards in the air. It was all short stuff. All short stuff. And no problem. Now, maybe you open up the playbook. Maybe you give him a little longer leash this week. I get it. That's cool. But you helped them by running the ball. Do the same thing with Justin. Do the same thing. See, don't get enamored with Justin's physical traits that you go away from the game plan. You know what the game plan is. You know what the best course of action is. Stop being so damn stubborn. Stop trying to be the smartest man in the room. You'll be the smartest man in the room when you stick with what's working. When you stick with what's working, that shows your intelligence. It says, hey, I'm not too proud to go away from my original plan if my original plan isn't the best plan for us to win today. That's how you show you're the smartest man in the room. Not forcing things. Not saying, well, we have to run this. We have to run that. No. And don't get that way when Justin comes back either. And we don't know when Justin's coming back. Coach Eberflus said he doesn't know. They're going to find out today. They'll have some more. Justin's going to visit with doctors today. They'll have some more information later today. Sometimes it's a simple game. Like Stacey King says, sometimes it's just a simple game. You block and you tackle. And man, were the boys blocking yesterday. Man, were they blocking yesterday, boy. Let me tell you. It was a sight. It was a thing of beauty. Here's what Darnell Wright had to say yesterday in the locker room.
For the team.
How much momentum do you think this can build? I know you're one game at a time, but you guys got some momentum now. You know, with a couple of plays here and there, you could be on a 4-game win streak. But you guys have played well for most part. You got a home victory. How much is this going to carry into next week?
Yeah, I hope it carries a lot. You know, that's what you try to do. Try to stack wins, stack good performances. Hopefully it carries on to the next one. But then you got to kind of try to put this one behind you at the same time and get ready for the next one. So.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
That was him. And Tevin Jenkins had a similar thing. I was listening to Tevin.
Guys, I'm here with Tevin Jenkins. Tevin, talk to you about the ground game today. You guys manhandled them, about 175 yards on the ground. How excited were you to get that ground game going?
Felt really good. I mean, we've been working on it. We've been preaching about how we need to get our run game going. And to be out there to get over 170 yards and get Foreman 2 touchdowns, it felt really good.
dominating. I asked Darnell Wright, I'm going to ask you the same thing. Do you think that is your identity, or it should be your identity as a running team? Because you haven't been able to get to you didn't establish a run early in the season, and the more you establish the run, the more you seem to get positive yards, the more you seem to take time off the clock, and the more you seem to win.
I mean, that's a story around the whole league. I mean, that's what it is. Like, once you get the ground game going, it loosens everything else up. After that, it just goes down the scheme, you know. And today, our offensive scheme was a lot better, so it was good.
I was Tyson Jenkins from the locker room yesterday. I'm telling you, they love to run the ball. Let those big boys eat. And I think that it's the formula this year. This is the formula this year. All right. I got to adjust it. I don't think everybody can see it. Everybody needs to see it, bad boy. That's the formula. I like it. I like it. I think that this team does well. This is with Mercedes Lewis. All right, Cole Kmet. Like, these guys are, you have the ability to run. You have the ability to block for these running backs. And I know I sound like a broken record, but Lord have mercy. The more you run the ball, the more things open up. You heard Tyson Jenkins say the same thing. It opens stuff up. It opens the offense up. When you can't stop the run, you have not earned the right to rush the passer. And believe you me, when you're stopping the run, your takeoff is so much different than if you're going after the quarterback. Completely different. If you're coming off stopping the run and it's a play action, and you think the running back has the ball and you slow down for a half a second, that gives the offensive lineman the chance to control you. Period. Now, Tyson Bagent or Justin Fields, whoever the QB is at the time, they'll have more time to throw, to survey the field. I don't know why. This is the perfect blueprint. 35 times a game. And I'm telling you, you ask a lineman, would they love to run the ball 35 times a game? They'd say, hell yes. Everybody is chapping beg to get to run the ball all year. Yeah, we have. Roberto, good morning, Papa. Thanks for tuning in. What do we do when Herbert and Johnson are healthy? Who do you play? What happened to Cole this game? No receptions, had a couple of penalties. When Herbert and Johnson get back, they rotate in the mix. Which is why, listen, you have 3 great running backs. Okay? This is why you run the ball. This is why you run the ball. You have these weapons. And throw them in one series at a time. One series at a time. Johnson, you're in this series. Foreman, you're in this series. Herbert, you're in this series. It keeps them fresh. And then later in the game, whoever has the hot hand, you get 2 series in a row. You get 2 series in a row. Okay? And you want to play late in the game, you better bust your ass early on in the game in your series. See how that works? See how that works? He goes, we run the ball, cabrones. I'm telling you, sometimes it's a simple game. Know-it-all offensive coordinators like to make it difficult. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But listen, you guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show. Oh, you know what? We got 1 minute before we got a break. We'll do top of the morning on the other side. But let me tell you, I'm fired up about the game. I'm fired up about the way, not just the game, but the way that they won. That, to me, is extremely important. The way that they won is vital. Okay? You put Tyson Bagent in a spot. This is what's called or shown. This is a textbook example of putting someone in a position to be successful. This is what you did yesterday. You put him in a position to be successful, and he was. He had the ability to be successful. Continue to do that. We'll have great things for this Bears team the rest of the year. But let's take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, we'll get to our top of the morning topics. All right? So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Sean and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Sean Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left, and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down, because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Or use some of their tight ends in those matchups.
Here's the play fake. Hoyer over the middle, deflected and intercepted right into the hands of Tremaine Edmonds.
Calm down.
Bagent the give to Foreman. Foreman plowing into the end zone for a Chicago touchdown.
Right there's your big block. Lucas Patrick back in at center.
They're down in 7. Bagent on the run. Throws on the sideline. The catch made by DJ Moore. First and 15, toss away from Crosby and room to run for Deontay Foreman, who goes airborne, and Marcus Epps.
Back to Sean and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Fox. Those are the Bears yesterday. Our Bears, baby, with a big 30-12 victory over the Vegas Raiders. And I told you, Raider Nation was rolling deep yesterday at Soldier Field. But listen, guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Woo, I got got to fix my chain, baby. I got to fix my chain. We haven't worn it in a while. We forget how to wear it. Yes. Yes, here we go. The first top of the morning topic. Well, where else do we start? Come on now. Where else do we start? Right here, baby. The Bears. Bears victory, big. Bears victory Monday. The Bears beat the Vegas Raiders yesterday 30-20 on the lakefront. Tyson Bagent in his first career start was 21 of 29 for 162 yards, a touchdown, and a 97.2 rating. DJ Moore, 8 catches, 54 yards. Darnell Mooney, 4 catches for 32 yards. Dante Foreman, have a day, young man. Have a day. He had 16 carries for 89 yards, and I was saying, man, get him 100. Get him 100. He didn't get him 100. That's okay. 16 carries for 89 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 3 catches for 31 yards. All right, so 120 total yards on the day. And he had a touchdown receiving. He had a pass catching touchdown. You know, there was a stat they were talking about. Darrington Evans, he had 14 carries for 48 yards as well. I said the Bears ran the ball 38 times. All right. There was a stat they were talking about this morning that there are only 5 running backs who've had 5 Chicago Bear running backs who've had 2 rushing touchdowns and a pass receiving touchdowns. Matt Forte, Neil Anderson. Matt Forte, Neil Anderson, Walter Payton, Gale Sayers, and now Dante Foreman. You talk about phenomenal company, a phenomenal club. That's one hell of a club to be a member of with the Chicago Bears organization. One hell of a club. One hell of a club. Man. Big day for the Bears. We're going to talk more Bears. Don't forget, at the top of the hour, Erik Kramer is going to join us, and we're going to just break it down because I'm fired up. I'm excited to hear what he has to say about this formula. And I'll tell you what, I don't know. I haven't spoken to Erik yet today. I just sent him the link. He'll be on a little later. But I'll tell you what, I will almost guarantee that he likes this formula. He will love this formula for Tyson Bagent, and he will love it for Justin Fields. Same thing. Same thing. Well, the next top of the morning topic. Fortunately, the Blackhawks, it's good and bad. Blackhawks fell to the Vegas Golden Knights on Saturday, 5-3. Soderblom stopped 19 of 25 shots. Connor Bedard scores his first goal at the United Center, his second of the season. Johnson scored his first goal. Perry scored his second goal. Assist on the day went to Hall, his second. Connor Murphy, his first. Donato, his second. And Foligno, his first. You know, the big thing, and this was a minute 30 in. Man, peep this. This is what everyone came to see.
Donato centering the fourth line of forwards for the Hawks. He's out there to begin this power play. Connor Bedard! He scores! A goal in the home opener for Connor Bedard. Welcome to Chicago. Holy jumping, what a shot. It was a slinger on the blade and off the blade, and it beat Aiden Hill cleanly. The faceoff was lost, but look at the way Perry dug in there, and he got some help from Hall, and that goes right to the high slot. And what a shot that is there by Connor Bedard.
That, my friends, first of all, those clips courtesy of NBC Sports Chicago. Wow. You know, this was whoever paid and was at that game saw history. saw history. You saw Connor Bedard score his first goal at the United Center, the first of many, of hundreds to come. Of hundreds. That's what we're anticipating. This is what we as Blackhawk fans are anticipating because he's the dude. He is that next generational talent. And you know what? We have him. His maturity, second to none. His ability to handle the situation. Awesome. For an 18-year-old kid, it's extremely, unbelievably impressive. You know, this kid he's got it all. But then again, you got to remember, he was since 13, 14. I mean, hell, I take that back. Younger than that. He was always the best. He was 8 years old playing on a 10-year-old team. On a 10U team. Come on now. And being the star. All right, you got to remember, at those ages, 1 year means a lot. 8-year-olds are a lot smaller than 9-year-olds, usually. 9-year-olds are smaller than 10-year-olds. And he was an 8-year-old playing on a 10-year-old team. Brandon Schutz, good morning, Papa. How are you? Cornelius, yes. No, we're not. And I got no ill will toward David Montgomery. He made the decision. So let's not, let's make sure that we say he left or we lost him. We did not get rid of him. Free agency it works both ways. You got to have two to tango. You have to decide the team has to want you, and you have to decide that you want to play for a specific team. David Montgomery made it clear that he no longer wanted to play for the Chicago Bears by signing with the Detroit Lions. Okay, that's his choice. That's his choice. Okay? Wish him well. He did nothing but great things here. We appreciate his efforts, his style of play. We love it. We love it. But I digress. The next top of the morning topic. The Bulls open the regular season on Wednesday as they host the Boston Celtics. Tip-off is 7:30. That can be seen on ESPN or 6:70 a.m. I don't know why I didn't put that up there. 6:70 a.m. on the radio side. I don't know. I'm not very fired up about this season. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not fired up about it. Why? Because we're running it back with the same people. You added a couple of pieces. So let me correct myself. We're running back with most of the same people. We did get some new players, and hopefully they bring some energy, some excitement. But as Fred Pfeiffer said on Friday, where's our rim protection? Our rebounding? Where's all this stuff? Non-existent still? Okay. Well, you keep doing that, guess what? We're still going to keep stinking. Now, we might stink a little higher, maybe 4th or 5th in the East and avoid the play-in, but we're in the middle. We're smack dab in the middle. We're in purgatory. Not good enough to get a lottery pick, and not good enough to get into the playoffs, not bad enough to get a lottery pick. So we're in purgatory. This is purgatory. At least if you're in basketball hell, you get a chance to get a lottery pick. Could you imagine Wemby here in Chicago? Whew. Whew. Vooch would have been traded. Or maybe you bring Wemby off the bench. Or move Vooch to 4. Wemby to 5. But I digress. There's no reason to even think about what would happen because it's not reality. It's deal in reality. So the Bulls host the Boston Celtics on Wednesday, start their regular season. good luck, boys. Good luck. I just feel that there'll be some exciting moments. I think there'll be some really fun moments, a couple upsets here and there, but all in all, are we really contending for an NBA championship? Nope. Are we? Nope. This is very Reinsdorfian. Okay? Very Reinsdorfian. All right, projected to make the playoffs, which people are going to go nuts. People want to go. We got to make the playoffs. Got to make the playoffs. I get it. You got talent. You got Zach. You got DeMar. You got Vooch. Kobe White is stepping up. Caruso. Ayo. Drummond. Think of all the names. We have the talent. The talent is there. So we're going to make the playoffs, and that's what we want. Make the playoffs. Make the playoffs. But are we really, really, really NBA title contenders? No, come on. Our neighbors 90 miles north are a much bigger contender than we are. Milwaukee Bucks. It might take a little bit of an adjustment period for them. Dame's never played with a big man like Giannis, and Giannis has never played with a gunner, a scorer like Dame. So it'll take a couple weeks, a few games, 6 games, 10 games. All right, give or take. But we're really not in consideration for shit. Come on. Let's be honest. We're not. Arturo Arnold, good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. Said this is the play style that Pittsburgh and Seattle use with young mobile quarterbacks, awesome defense, and a running game to win Super Bowls. Another reason why the Getsy hire was wrong. Ground and pound and take shots. I agree with you. And do you remember? Listen, Arturo, to further your point, do you remember Antonio Brown was one of the best receivers in the NFL for about a 3 to 4 year stretch, and you still ran the ball. You still pounded the ball. He led the NFL in rushing, I want to say, or receptions 1 year. But they still ran the ball. But we'll get back to football in a moment. The next top of the morning topic, got some baseball, baby. NLCS Game 6 tonight, the D-backs. Oh, goodness. I forgot to put that in. So you know what? Let's switch this. We'll go to ALCS. ALCS Game 7 tonight. Win or go home. That's it. Win or go home. The two best words in sports. Game 7. Game 7. There's nothing like it. Because the finality of it is what I love. This is it. And here's where your superstars come in. Here's where people jump in. Like, I can pitch an inning. I can pitch 2 innings. I got 30 pitches in my arm tonight. If you pitched last night, you know what I mean? This is all hands on deck. Because the winner goes to the World Series. The Texas Rangers are playing at the Houston Astros tonight. As I said, 7:03 is the first pitch, and that's going to be on Fox. A lot of sports tonight on Fox. A lot of sports tonight. Baseball, got the ALCS Game 7. You have Monday Night Football. You have the NLCS. That game's today, 4:07 Central. That game's on TBS. Philly leads the series 3-2. Another phenomenal series. All right, playoff. Listen, I know Sox fans are a little bit removed from playoff baseball, meaning deep playoff baseball. Cub fans aren't. as far removed. You remember how fun it was. You remember how intense it was. Getting to the NLCS 3 years in a row, 2015, 16, and 17. You remember that. Playoff baseball is fun. Playoff baseball is exciting. Playoff baseball is intense. Because every pitch means something. And maybe like 20 years ago is when I really got into the art of, I hated baseball. Baseball was the most boring sport to me. I love playing it. I didn't like watching it as much, unless I was at the game. And then I started watching it, and luckily I had Hawk and Steve Stone. All right. Hawk and Wimpy. Then Hawk and Steve Stone. Who would talk about the game and talk about the science of the game and the strategies of the game. And as a coach, as a player, I love strategies. And you start to see, and I was like, I didn't understand the difference between 0-1 and 1-0. Why there was such a big difference. Like, it's only one pitch. But it sets up the rest of the at-bat. If you get ahead, you try and further, you try to get one strike closer to getting them out. If you're behind, now you have to throw a pitch that's going to kind of fool them. But if not, it's still in the strike zone because you don't want to go down 2-0 because then you have to come with a fastball. You come with a fastball, you know it, he knows it. And that's where he leads the problems. That's the hitter's count. Or as our old Uncle Hawk, you got the catbird seat. You're ready to pounce. And so as I got old, like I said, after about that 20 years ago, and as I started looking at it and thinking about it and understanding, like, wow, this is really, really fun. This is really, really exciting. Now, don't get me wrong, it's long and boring. Playoff baseball, those games, long. A lot of pitching changes, and trust me, there'll be a lot of pitching changes tonight in Game 7. But Game 6 here, Arizona Diamondbacks at Philadelphia Phillies. Can they win it at home? Or can they win it tonight and avoid a Game 7? Mike never had a Game 7 in the finals. Actually, Mike had Game 7s in the Eastern Conference Finals, but not in the NBA Finals. He doesn't know what the NBA Finals Game 7 is. But I digress. Playoff baseball tonight. Make sure if you're a big fan, tune in. Tune in. And since it's Philly, so they bat in the bottom of the first. Just wait until after the bottom of the first. Just wait till after they get their first at bat, because you don't want to miss Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber now has the most home runs in championship series history, NLCS history. Dude is insane. This dude is a machine. You know, I wonder, and here's the crazy part. Rizzo was doing his thing in New York, but New York sucks. So it's like, okay, you're doing your thing, but to what extent? Baez, Bryant, he's on the back of a milk carton. I don't even know. Is he still in the league? I'm kidding. Like that team that they had, a squad that they had. I thought at least they'd go to like 2020. 6 years, 7 years. But that shows you how fragile seasons are. Doesn't matter what sport. Seasons are very fragile. So the D-backs might not get here again. The Phillies might not get here again. There may be a string of injuries. Maybe Schwarber gets hurt. Maybe Harper gets hurt. Maybe some of their pitching gets hurt next year. Things change every year. One, you never keep the same players. The majority of them, most likely. But you always add and you always subtract. So the team is never the same every year. And then you may avoid the injury bug one season and get blasted by it the next. It shows you how fragile each season regardless of sport, how fragile each season is. And this is why you respect each season. If you're in a rebuild, then you want to make sure you're always improving. From the last game, whatever sport it is, the last game that you play that season, better be a marked improvement. There better be noticeable improvement from the first game of that season. And then the following season, there better be improvement from the year before. If you're in a rebuild. If you're a perennial contender, man, you got to get at least to the championship series. So at that point, it's tough. You might not be the hot team. Other team might have just a great team assembled that year. But it shows you how fragile each and every season is. Let's see. Brandon Schutz, you say Houston Astros. My man, Luis Mejia. He's in the house. Good morning, Papa. Rise and grind. And Luis is a big Raider fan. Says, yeah, Raider strategy is to do everything possible to lose. Oh, man. Brandon, I don't know what you're saying. How do you spell sports? How do you spell Sports Chicago? The way you have it here on the screen? I'm not sure. Are you asking how you spell Sports Zone Chicago? I'm not sure. That's SPORTSZONE. That's one word. And then space, and then Chicago. If that's what you're asking, I'm not sure. Arturo. The Bears, exactly. The Bears need to hire you as a run game coordinator. And it might be an issue with the Bears. We'll let you know. Find out. That's another topic for another day. But you know what? I'd run it. You know, I've never been an offensive coordinator. I've been a defensive coordinator the last 6-7 years of my career. Six, I want to say. And of course I needed help at times. But you're going with a plan, and when the plan doesn't work, you adjust it, you morph it. Okay, I didn't want to have to blitz this week because they have a good receiver. But you know what? We're not getting any pressure. I need to blitz, so I need to shade this safety over. All right, or I have to travel. Have my best cornerback travel. Usually it was Jabril. You know, traveling, staying with this one particular dude just because he's legit. You know what? It happens. But you do what's necessary for the win that day. And if you realize that the formula that you use for that day is going to be the formula for this year, first you have to be open to it. Saying, is the formula that got us a victory today, is that going to be the formula moving forward this year? Is that the best formula for this team? Because if it is, then your scheme shifts from what you wanted to do to what you need to do. And all offenses have the ability to morph. They do. It's just how do you want to call plays? You know, when I was with Curie, the head coach also called the plays. Just phenomenal offensive mind. Phenomenal. We would run inside zone out of 4, 5, 6 different looks. We go out of 12 personnel. We go out of 22 personnel. We'd go empty, motion them back in. We go 22 personnel. 21 personnel, 22 personnel. I mean, you name it, we were able to run inside zone. We'd have motion. We'd have jet sweep. We'd have bubble motion. All this stuff, all for an inside zone. So that's what they need to do. And you get paid to do this. You get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, Luke Getsy, to get this done. Get it done. Get it done. So realize that this is the formula. Run the ball 35 plus times. And when they start blitzing, when they start adjusting, that's when you make your adjustments. And you have to be preemptive. Say, okay, once we start running, and here's where the new defensive analyst can help. Say, okay, if we're doing this, what would you do? If we're running the ball down your throat, what would you do? Or what has this defensive coordinator done in the past when teams started running the ball on him? Look up this defensive coordinator. What has he done in the past to stop a team that's hurting him on the ground? So you know what moves they're going to make. Listen, we're human. We are human. We are creatures of habit. We will go back to what works. So once you figure that out, now you already have your next move. So he's going to do this. So to combat this, we're going to do this. So when we see them, they start to do this, or they line up in this formation, or they bring this amount of people, then we're going to go quick screen. We're going to go short game. We're going to go slants. We're going to go draws. A whole bunch of different things once you see that they've decided to make a change. But that takes intelligence. That takes a meticulous nature to study what other DCs are doing. Study what has worked against these DCs that you're going, defensive coordinators that you're going up against, and putting those things in your system, in your play calls. Well, listen, we got to take a break. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome, you know what time it is. It's going to be time for our man, Erik Kramer, on the other side of the break. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Sean and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Fields a run for 17. Back he goes. Here comes Chubb. There goes the ball. Touchdown! Jones will walk at the left tackle. Time for Fields. Now we are accelerating at the first down. Great tackles, and he's off to the races. Oh, we got a terrific block.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
So I've come up with a family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying. These new sneakers are just what I needed for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils, too. These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
Some of their tight ends in those matchups.
Here's the play fake. Hoyer over the middle, deflected and intercepted right into the hands of Tremaine Edmonds. Bagent the give to Foreman. Foreman plowing into the end zone for a Chicago touchdown.
Right there's your big block. Lucas Patrick back in at center.
They're down in 7. Bagent on the run. Throws on the sideline. The catch made by DJ Moore. First and 15, toss away from Crosby and room to run for Deontay Foreman, who goes airborne, and Marcus Epps.
Welcome back to Sean and Maya in the morning at Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Fox. And yes, Eric, you damn right you see my Bears victory chain. Yes, baby, yes. Eric's laughing in the green room. Hey, listen, guys, you know what time it is? It is Monday after a Bears game. Time for Erik Kramer.
This segment of Sean and Maya in the morning, Monday Morning Quarterback with Erik Kramer, is sponsored by Goal Mental Wellness, Inc. Because your life is calling. Goal, get out and live. Because life is too short.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing, so cold.
Rick, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Couldn't be better unless my name was Tyson Bagent.
Oh man, you know what? It was a much needed victory yesterday. A very good game by Tyson Bagent. I had to slow some people down. Like, all right, get rid of Fields. We got a new quarterback. I'm like, slow down, hold up, wait a minute, hold up. I thought the kid did very well. The young man played very, very well yesterday. He did everything they asked of him, and he did the most important thing. He didn't turn the ball over.
All right, here's my most important thing. Tell me who struggled to catch the ball. Name a receiver.
A receiver?
There wasn't one. That is my point. So every ball was where it should have been, on time. I had to laugh because I'm sitting there watching last night. I'm watching a post-game show that included Alex Brown, Lance Briggs, and Coach Wanstead, right? And so Alex Brown is basically getting razzed for wearing, not literally, but figuratively, wearing a number 17 Tyson Bagent jersey in his can't get enough of this game and how well he played.
Mm-hmm.
To be backed up by apparently Lance Briggs is asleep at the wheel. Where's that game plan for Justin Fields? Are you kidding me? It's been the same game plan these last 2 years. One guy can actually drop back and read a defense and throw the ball accurately on time, and one guy can't. That's the game plan. One executes it, one doesn't. Game over. And
Well,
I'm not so. And to be fair, you know, the host of this show that I was watching says, "Okay, what if what if Justin Fields is healthy next week? Who plays?" And Dave Wannstedt goes, "Well, Justin Fields." Nuh-uh. That era is over. So Tyson Bagent, and I've heard, and I use this reference. He's the new Brock Purdy, and I heard someone say he's not. Yes, he is. So deal with it. Deal with the fact that the Bears have a excellent quarterback who's an undrafted free agent from Shepherd College, Division II. Who cares? He can play. What's his name? Charles Haley was from James Madison. Guy can play or guy can't play. Doesn't matter. And so you saw what an NFL offense should look like. Did they change anybody else, by the way, other than Tyson Bagent? Did all of a sudden the offensive line all of a sudden become great, better than they were? No. So everybody played like they normally play, including the quarterback who played like that, I'm sure, at Shepherd College. And it's played like that all during the season or all, during the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
And there showed flashes of that in his first game coming in for Justin Fields. So there's one guy on that field that was extra special, and his name is Tyson Bagent. Done.
So you kind of call him extra special. So see, I don't think it was the same game plan. All right. I don't remember games where you ran the ball 38 times with Justin Fields. All right. You run the ball, and that makes and we know that makes a big difference for a quarterback. And I'm not absolving Justin for having to play better, because I've always stated he must play better. But man, you run the ball 38 times. There is that opens up a lot of different things. That gives you a lot of different, your windows that are kind of narrow in the NFL, they get a little wider. Not wide, just wider. There are a lot of things that happen when you don't commit to the run. You're doing a disservice to your quarterback. I think it seems to me that
you got to get first downs to run.
Yeah.
So and the Bears did, because of who?
A lot of them were on. Not just him. A lot of them we were getting 2nd and 3, 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4. All right, now you open up the whole playbook when you're in 2nd and 5 or less. So you committed to the run early. You stayed with the run, and you didn't put a lot on him. If we missed the 2nd and short, guess what? We'll just run it. If we didn't, you got it. We got 7 yards, 10 yards, perfect. We'll do it again. All right, you got to pass to Mooney on a quick out, no problem. I just want them to commit to the run. I think it feels like that Getsy uses Justin's athletic ability, his superior athletic ability, and says, okay, let's do this. No, I think the formula, Eric, is you run the ball 30 plus times a game and take your shots. Pittsburgh does it. Pittsburgh. You remember with Roethlisberger? How many times did they run the bus in his first couple of years? You run the bus. How many times did Antonio Brown lead the NFL in yards receiving or catches, but you still ran the ball about 30 times a game? Use that formula, and then have Justin Fields when Justin Fields is a starter. I'm not taking anything away from Brock Purdy, from Tyson Bagent. I think he did phenomenally.
You can go ahead and say it.
He did phenomenally yesterday.
Coming of Brock Purdy.
He might even be better, but nonetheless, I think he did phenomenal. He showed me that he is if they keep Justin and Bagent, I think they have their quarterback tandem for the next 5 to 7 years, maybe even longer.
Right.
I think that now. So let's talk about this. Well, that's going down a different road. Talk to me about that offensive line. I spoke with Tevin Jenkins and Darnell Wright yesterday in the locker room after, and they just loved running the ball. Talk to me about how awesome that line looked to you yesterday, because Deontay Foreman wasn't getting touched, so maybe the second, maybe even the third level a lot yesterday.
Best the offensive line's played all year, maybe all the last 2 years combined. So there's no doubt the offensive line played great. There's no doubt that the third or fourth best running back on the Bears played great. And there's no doubt that what's his name? The tight end they got from Green Bay,
Marcellus Davis,
Lewis blocked great. There's no doubt. And so the team played great.
Yeah.
Was there ever an occasion where the Raiders had a chance to win that game? I already know the answer. No.
Probably it's before kickoff.
Yeah, that was getting off the bus. That they had a chance. In their minds, they had a chance.
Yeah.
And so I guess what I'm trying to say here is that the offensive line didn't have a different game plan. They shifted around. Tevin Jenkins went right back to right guard.
Yeah.
And there was shakeups to be made. Why all of a sudden did they play great? Did they take the last season and a half off? No. So me personally, you and I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you. I think Tyson Bagent today is better than Justin Fields. Like, not even close.
Eric, are you serious?
If I'm not serious, why would I have said it?
That was a rhetorical question, but
I think I'm respectfully I respect what your opinion is.
We can disagree. It's cool. But it happens.
But I'm just saying that the line played fantastic. You run the ball 38. Like Ron Turner, who was the first offense coordinator I played for at the Bears. The goal every week was to run the ball 30 times. We ended up having a great pass game too at times. But you've got to run the ball, and you got to play a good run defense. Both of those things were accomplished yesterday. And so
tell me about it. Yeah.
And I'm not looking to heap praise only on Tyson Bagent, but you name me the last rookie quarterback, Division I or Division II, who won their first start.
Oh, I'd have to Google that one.
Want me to tell you who it is?
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy. Yep.
Oh yeah, because he hasn't. Did he finally lose yet? Did they finally lose?
They lost a game.
Regular season.
It wasn't his fault for losing, but yeah.
Yeah, because he was like undefeated in the regular season last year, and then they were winning this year. Yeah, but I like Brock Purdy. He's very fortunate to be in the situation he's in, and the play caller caters his talent, doesn't put the whole game on him, and that's what they did yesterday. They put the game on the offensive line. All right. For me, the lack of commitment to the offensive line is what's killing the Bears when Justin's in there. They want to let him throw deep. They want to let him do all this stuff. Okay, run the ball, allow that defense to soften up, have to make an adjustment. If they do, it's a different thing. But that offensive line, back to the offensive line, I think they played great yesterday. Man, they were you talk about chips and going up to the second level and getting people. I mean, you saw on the zone, a lot of the zone runs. Man, Dante Form put his foot in the ground, and all of a sudden it just opened up. You saw it developing. Like, oh, dude, they're going to overrun it. And there he goes. And then you bring a cornerback up there. He shouldn't have tried to hurdle that safety in the post game. He was like, because I probably should have put a move on him. And I was thinking, no, you should just put your shoulder down and ran his ass over. But that's just me.
That's always an option. But hey, you can't fault the guy for trying to get a little creative.
You know what? I can't. So I'm excited. You know what? And I think that next week, once Tyson has more confidence, because he said he was confident, he said he was nervous, but he said in the post gamer, he said, well, nothing changes. And I'm like, I didn't want to keep badgering him. And I was like, but you can believe that you can win a game. But once you actually win the game, that feeling's different. Now you're like, oh shit. Okay. I knew I could do it. But now that you know you can do it, I want him to continue to build on that. Now I want to see them throw the ball 15 yards or more. All right. Everything was short game. Why do you think everything was short yesterday, Eric, in keeping him, not, out over his skis? Because he's throwing the ball. I mean, dude, he's thrown over 2,000 college passes, right?
Well, you asked me why I want to, why it's not like they didn't call deep throws. He just knows how to go through a progression. And so I saw yesterday, a lot of quarterbacks stare down receivers and throw deep balls to guys who you throw a deep ball to a guy when he's moving past the guy that's defending him.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone talks how great Josh Allen is. Well, he wasn't yesterday, and he threw a couple balls down the field that the offensive guy had no chance of getting. That one was picked, and then he early in the game stared down a deep crosser, and that was picked. And so Tyson Bagent doesn't stare down anybody.
No, he does. He moves
And
quickly.
You talk about a guy that can move through a progression. Let me tell you how difficult this is to be an undrafted free agent, which I was myself. I was lost in New Orleans as a rookie free agent. Completely no idea what I was doing. Tyson Bagent looks like he's been doing this for 10 years. And so I think there's something a little different there. There's no such thing as a game plan that doesn't include downfield throws. There's just not. And so there's choices a quarterback makes whether to throw it down the field or not. There's always that.
Mm-hmm.
And hit underneath routes on time that go for first downs, which he did. And that's what keeps chains moving, is making decisions on time that could go down the field, that could go to the middle range guy, that could go to the short range guy. Doesn't matter. But if it's on time and rhythm, those equate to first downs a lot of the time. And so, I love the fact, to get back to your point on the offensive line, how they did a phenomenal job yesterday, both run and pass. And just think, coming into that game, what a incredible pass rusher Max Crosby is, who got a sack.
Got the only sack, yeah.
Got a sack. Big deal. Name me another play he made.
No, you didn't. I didn't know. I couldn't even find him. Except for that play. I was like, oh, Max Crosby is playing today. So, yeah.
Right.
I agree with you on that one.
And I think, the combination of the offensive line with what Donta Foreman did, and that, I can't remember the name of the other running back, smaller guy, but also did a good job.
Darrington Evans. Yeah.
And so when some of these other backs like Rashawn Johnson and Khalil Herbert come back and are healthy, this is what happens on a lot of NFL teams, and college teams too, is you get some starters hurt, other guys step up behind them, fill a role, do a good job, and then the starters come back, and now you've got that much more depth moving forward, which who's going to disagree that that's a good thing?
One of the guys in the thread asked who, when they come back, who plays. I'm like, they all play. And I'm like, you know what? I said, whoever has a hot hand at the end of the game. All right. Hey, you get this series, you get the next series, you get the third series, you got the fourth series, you got the fifth series, and third quarter, fourth quarter, if the game's close or if you need to ice it, go with the hot hand. Or you can say, hey, you're going 3 or 4 plays. Boom, we're coming out 3 or 4 plays. And I know as a running back, I would have hated to have gone 3 or 4 plays. Would have hated it. But sometimes it's what you got to do. Whatever the recipe is for that day to win is what you got to do. And I think they yesterday, the recipe, which I think is good for the rest of the season, was 35 plus carries. They had 38 for $175-ish. I want to say maybe 178, maybe 173, somewhere in there, but $175. Right. That is controlling the clock. That is wearing your opponent down. And that gave Tyson a lot of extra time. And you're right. I love his progressions. And my question to you, though, Eric, how many snaps did you have? See, because I said it last week, and people were talking, and I said, look, it's like, I'm not as concerned about Tyson Bagent as many people are, because the guy had over 2,000 snaps in college. His junior year, he had 579 snaps. His senior year, he had 572 snaps. Have you ever thrown for 500 yards 500 passes attempts in a season? That's a lot. And to do it 2 consecutive years in a row, I actually asked him in the press conference yesterday, Eric. I said, I asked you, because you might not be able to hear me because I'm from the side, but I asked him, I said, last week, I said, are you confident? I was like, you looked her straight in the eye and said, I'm very confident. I said, where does that come from? And here's his answer.
Tyson, I asked you last week, I said, if you're moving forward, if you're QB1, how confident were you leading this team to victory? You looked me dead in the face and said, I'm very confident. Where did that come from, and what did you do today to build up to do that?
I feel like I've played like a million games at quarterback. I feel like I was able to win the job in high school my sophomore year, And then, I started every game through my senior year of college. So that's 7 years of starting, understanding what the week of preparation looks like, and going through pretty much every concept and run concept that there is. So repetition, mother of all learners, and I've been blessed to have a lot of repetitions in my life. So
How much did
Man, 500 passes, over 1,000, over 1,100 passes in 2 years, pass attempts in 2 years. There's not a situation that he's going to come up that he hasn't faced. Now, the competition is greatly different, but man, Erik, I loved his answer, and that's actually what I was hoping for, but I loved his answer. I loved his moxie, and he was adamant. I'm telling you, he looked me right in the face when I asked that question last week and said, "Oh, I'm very confident." I was like, "All right, kid. All right, you do it, man." Because you could talk a good game, but he not only did he talk a good game, he backed it up, and I love it. Let's go to the other side. Let's talk about the defense. The defense, 39 yards rushing. I don't know if
the
you guys
difference there between 170 something and 39, isn't it?
Little difference. And this is the team that had the NFL's leading rusher last year.
You got it.
I love the fact that, and I asked Coach Coach Eberflus as well. I'm like, well, what's the difference? You guys held him to 39 yards, like $160 passing. And he said, well, guys are back. They're healthy. They're, it's consistent with everybody being there. He goes, I'm calling the plays now. He goes, they're consistent with me. I'm consistent. And I joked, I'm like, so you're the secret weapon? He's like, no. Just the players are. What did you see with this defense flying around? I get it. They were down. They weren't down a lot early, so they could have run the ball. But to hold them to 39 yards rushing, that's impressive.
Remember, I can't remember what game it was, but you made the comment how, when running backs on other teams, are carrying the ball and get tackled, they don't always go backward when they play the Bears.
Right.
Now you see people setting the edge, the next guy fills inside of him, and so on and so on and so on. And so nobody's slipping through tackles anymore.
Yeah.
They're going backwards. You're getting tip balls at the line of scrimmage that go for interceptions. You're getting Jalen Johnson, who hasn't, he had come into the game with one interception, gets 2 that day. And there you've got, I heard Dave Wannstedt last night talk about the most important guys in the field are the finishers, which on defense are edge pass rushers and cornerbacks. And so, you construct your defense at least around that. And it seems like the Bears are doing just that. And I think, Matt Eberflus isn't going to give himself credit, but he's a phenomenal defensive play caller and has been his whole coaching life. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense that as these young players are growing up during the season, he's helping that process because this is his second year being there, and it's the second year for some, not all, but some of these players.
Many of them,
and so, I think it makes perfect sense. And we've been seeing this now for more than 1 week, how this defense is starting to come to life. And so you match that up with a good running game, solid running game offensively, that you're not full strength there. You can stop the run defensively, and you're now starting to make block kicks on special teams and plays in both the passing game and passing defense. So this is kind of the definition of how a team comes together. You don't flick on the switch and boom, there we go. And it takes a little time, and we're seeing that it's taken some time.
And development is not linear. So you can't just say, well, you did this week, so he has to improve X amount percentage next week, X amount. It's not linear. And that there are different signs that you see. All right. 39 yards rushing against the leading rusher in the NFL from a season ago. That's a good ass sign. That's a really good sign. One of the things that I'm excited about is I'm thinking, and I want to look ahead to the draft. We'll come back to the team. Caleb Williams is not obviously, but he's been the number one prospect He was supposed to be a shoo-in. He had a bad game last week against Notre Dame. People are talking maybe Drake May. Okay. You get the first pick. Carolina goes over. They pull the Detroit Lions, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And they go over. You got the first pick. What do? You know, what's your thought on what they do? You take Caleb Williams, or do you get a haul for that number one pick, build the rest of the team up, and be happy and go with Justin and Tyson Bagent?
So here's what I think: that you let next week's game play out, which is now going to be 2 starts for Tyson Bagent. Tyson. And then the trade deadline's coming up. You've got an issue going on in Atlanta where Justin Fields would be the perfect replacement for Justin Ritter down there in that offense. You get them to trade you more draft picks, and then you walk into the draft and free agency all over again, being the big dog. And you decide, do you need Caleb Williams? And because he's got to play some more games too, because his last 2 out of 3 have not been all that overwhelming. And so, again, I would love to be sitting where the Bears are at the end of the season, because they're all like today, they own the draft.
1-3 as of yesterday when they won.
But they've got others too. And then you've got, to me, the possibility of trading Justin Fields this season, during the season, and adding more draft picks. And then you wait and maybe you evaluate everybody. And is Caleb Williams or Drake May even that guy? I don't know.
Yeah.
But certainly we just talked about this team needs a solid edge rusher, like solid.
Mm-hmm.
And you get these 2 young defensive tackles that are only getting better each week.
Yes, they are.
And then, now you've got a stifling defense. And you might have Tyson Bagent and whoever at quarterback. And you've now got an offensive line that's grown, running backs that are developing, receiving group is developing, and we haven't even talked about free agency yet.
So you're thinking, in your mind, you look to unload Justin, holler at Atlanta, and be like, "Hey, we got your hometown kid here. What do you want? What are you willing to come up off of?" Okay, and I think Justin would be a great fit in Atlanta. Him and Bijan Robinson together, that would be insane. He's a hometown kid. I think going back home, he didn't make it at Georgia because they want to play Erik Kramer. I don't understand that whole scenario, but so that's why he went to Ohio State. I could see that. Okay, I personally, I'm not trading Justin Fields. I'm not trading. I like that at 1-2 combo. I think you can do. I give me the haul. Give me the haul. And Eric, I swear, I think Ryan Poles, obviously he went to go to the USC game. I think he's going around. He's driving the market up. Yeah, we're going to be in the market for a quarterback. We're going to be in the market for a quarterback.
Yeah.
Great gamesmanship on his.
Sure.
If that's what he's doing, because now it's like, oh, okay, man. And especially with Justin playing not so well, not as good as he can play, and then Tyson Bagent doing well. Like things are falling into place, because now it looks like, okay, Tyson's going to be the perfect backup. You got to go get Caleb Williams. But I want Caleb Williams. But he wants Caleb Williams. But he wants Caleb Williams. I think he's set himself up for an unbelievable. I think every single amount of pick you can get according to the collective bargaining agreement,
Mm-hmm.
I think Poles is going to try and get in this draft, and I think you moving forward. So
there's a number of ways to play this,
Mm-hmm.
but the good news as you look at it is it looks like there's no way the Bears can lose. Right? They own all. They're sitting with 4 aces right now.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be good. Talk to me about that secondary. We'll talk about Jalen Johnson. Actually, we talked to Jalen Johnson in the locker room yesterday. Here's what he had to say about his day.
Another great performance by the defense. How did you feel about the way that unit was playing all day?
I think we did good. I think we did a heck of a job on third down. I know that's something we took a big step in and wanted to take pride in this game, and I think we did that. We came out here and limited the explosive plays. I just know personally I got to clean up some of the penalties. But overall, I think we flew around and held it pretty good.
Jalen, I know you've heard about your lack of interceptions in your career so far. So how good did it feel to get 2 of them today?
I mean, I would just say it feels good for me, just confidence, just knowing that I can make plays. I know at the end of the day, it's about opportunities, and I know for me, I don't want to miss any opportunities. So just today being able to capitalize just felt good, reassured me of who I am, and I know what I can do, and I know I can take the ball away. It's just about opportunities and taking advantage of them.
Do you think the Bears pay him?
Yeah, he's legit, and you know him and I can't remember his name right now. Who's the guy they drafted out of Washington last year?
Kyler Gordon.
Struggled early. Kyler Gordon. Okay, so you know, and he's developed to me when he's healthy into a force on as a nickel slot defender. And yeah, you can't get enough playmakers. Do you pay him? Are you crazy? Yes, you pay him. Who else are you going to get?
Yeah.
So he's earned, just because the guy doesn't intercept the ball, a lot of times they're not throwing his way.
Bingo, Eric. Bingo. You can't pick the ball up and they'll throw it at you. Unless you got some.
How many? You tell me this, and I don't know the answer. How many years did Deion Sanders lead the league in interceptions?
Not very many.
I'll say zero. I would guarantee it 0.
Mm-hmm.
Yet in my time, he's the best corner I've ever seen. It's not even close.
Yeah, I would agree with you. There's no argument on that one. He shut down that whole field, and you know what? Here's the thing: trade away good players. Don't trade away good players. All right, you got to pay to play. This is what this game is about. You got to pay to play. So many times, Eric, they just don't go to his side because it's a PBU, it's deflection, something, maybe not a pick, but you're not completing it to that side. And I understand turnovers are huge, but it's also a lot to be said for not being able to go to one side of the field. That's a big part.
I remember this with Deion when he was in San Francisco. They would single him up on your best guy.
Oh, hell yeah. He traveled.
And they would roll the coverage the other way.
So you take him wherever he goes.
Wherever he goes.
And Deion's like, I got it. I remember when he was in Atlanta, they did an article on him in Sports Illustrated, and he said, he came out and was like, why do we even have these meetings? He goes, I don't even get it. He goes, they're a waste of time. Let's pick a man, keep him, and take him the whole game and be done with it. That was his mentality. Like, we don't got to meet. We don't have to worry about coverages. We don't have to worry about rolling and disguising. I got you. You're locked up for the whole game. Next. All right. And that was it. And I think Jalen Johnson, I'm not putting him in the category of Deion, but I'm saying what he's done, especially in this cover 2, the scheme that you're running, he's done well. And I think he can be in a different, I mean, if he's play more man, he's fine there too. Because there's some corners who are only
good. The pick he got, that first one, the one he squatted on, that was man. And he's very good. I mean, really good.
Yeah, I agree.
And so that is a building block like that you keep running with. He's young. He's in his 3rd year. I mean, come on.
You know, and what's crazy is, like, you know, again, you got to stop trading good players, you know, because you think the next young guy. And I know the NFL is you always want to get young and cheap. I get it, but sometimes you got to pay. You got to pay the full price. You got to pay what you owe. And if you can have that, why do you think Coach Eberflus is one of the reasons his new scheme, and I should say, his last couple games have been successful? Because you got Jalen Johnson on one side, and now you can bring extra people. You can bring the 5th guy to put some pressure on the quarterback, because he wasn't bringing 5. He was only bringing 4, and we're screaming, bring a 5th guy. The quarterback's he can have a lunch back there. Brought the 5th guy. All of a sudden, now the quarterback's moving off his spot. Now the ball's coming out a little early. Now the ball's coming out a little late. Now the ball's not on time, and that's where the strength. You put all the the weight of that defense on the back end, because that to me was their best group, and they did. And look at 2 interceptions, three interceptions yesterday, 2 by Jalen, 1 by linebacker Edmonds.
Edmonds, yep.
2 in a row, 2 weeks in a row. This defense is getting better and better and better. What's your thoughts of Eberflus being on the hot seat? Everyone's like, get rid of him, get rid of him, get rid of him. What do you think about him being on the hot seat? Him and Luke Getsy.
I'd say tone it down, first of all, because they're now starting to play very well defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Offensively now with 2 different quarterbacks, they've had solid games, in this last month. And offensive lines coming, like, what hot seat? I get how there was some time early in the year where this just looked like we're back to square one from the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not so much right now. And so there are coaches that deservedly should be on the hot seat. And I would even say Matt Eberflus earlier in the year was one of those guys. I don't see it that way right now.
Guys, we're joined by Erik Kramer, former Chicago Bears quarterback, here talking Bears football and Sean and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. I think it's a lot less hot. I think it's warm now. Before it was hot, and I think if they have another good game next week, I think it might be turned off. I
agree with you, and I'll be at that game next week, by the way, and because it's out.
Oh yeah, out there. That's right.
Against the Chargers. Now you talk about a coach who is on the hot seat, deservedly so. It's Brandon Staley, and
former
that's
Chicago
been for 3 years now. So
yeah.
I'm shocked that he's actually. Well, I'm not shocked because I know the Chargers, the ownership is not going to pay money to someone who's not there until they get enough national media going, what is he still doing here? And that is now starting to ratchet up in these last more than several weeks.
Your thoughts on Justin? He's you saw him in the background. They had when they gave Tyson the game ball, Justin's in the background standing by his locker. And your thoughts on him and his situation? He's got a dislocated thumb. He said basically, obviously no surgery. They said basically it's going to be a pain tolerance thing, and as soon as he can grip the ball. Your thoughts, just when you think he might be ready?
I have no way of knowing, and he probably has no way of knowing. But I feel for him because I've been in a situation where you weren't playing well, the team weren't winning games, and someone else comes in and now they are winning. And all of a sudden you are the forgotten man. So I have been in that situation before. So I do feel for him. But a lot of other people have also been in that situation. And what it develops inside of you, hopefully, is some resilience where failure is not the big deal. It's not learning from failure is the big deal. And so if Justin can get back on the horse, meaning in practice, and start to figure out ways that so far he hasn't, as to how to become a more efficient quarterback that we've been detailing now for a year and a half, I think that's because he's got great athleticism. No one's going to ever argue that. What he doesn't have, to me so far, is an ability to consistently, over time, read defenses and thereby anticipate throws and thereby move defenders while you're in the process of reading coverages. Haven't seen that out of him. Just haven't. He
consistently.
And he drops back like he's at the company Thanksgiving Bowl football game. It just is.
That bothers me.
There's no urgency. He runs 4.4,
yeah.
Yet he drops back like he runs 6.4. And that's never going to equate with what we just saw this past Sunday out of Tyson Bagent.
Yeah, Tyson, and here's the thing is he realized he doesn't have the physical tools. Well, first of all, again, he talked about it, 7 years of being a starter, 7 years in a row, right? The 2,000 passes in college, unbelievable number. And he had to get the ball out quick. The short, quick pass game was what he did mostly at Shepherd. So he's adept at that. I'm
he's athletic too, by the way.
Oh, he is. He is.
I mean, he moves around in the pocket well. He drops back with there's a lightness to the way he moves around. He takes off and scrambles for positive yards and first downs when the coverage and rush dictate. So it's not like he's not athletic himself. So
oh no, he is. Oh no, I will never say he's not. He's talking about. They asked him his game plan was if he didn't make the NFL. He's like he goes, I'd probably CrossFit myself to death and then be a teacher. Get totally jacked. So he's a CrossFit athlete. You're an athlete. And you've seen it. You've seen it. So I just love the kid's moxie. I love his, and he talked about, I've come through a lot. I've overcome a lot from where I come from. The odds were stacked against me of ever getting this far. He goes, and so he goes, I'm gonna, last week, what did he say? I'm gonna go out, just rip it and have fun with these guys. And he did. And I just think that moving forward, now that he's got confidence, like I said, you can have confidence in yourself, but once you do it, the confidence you had in yourself pales to the confidence you have after that first win. And he got his first win yesterday with 50 plus family members. And he said his paycheck's going to be non-existent this year.
Here's the one thing here's the one thing I guarantee will never happen again. He will not be taken off the field and replaced by any quarterback to throw some fluky Hail Mary. That won't happen. And if there's anybody that should be insulted by what happened, it should be him. And so, yeah, that won't happen again.
You heard him. He was like, well, I got a cannon too.
Yeah. Yep.
Coach.
And he did his best to be humble and act like it's no big deal. But I guarantee you inside, he's like, what the F is this? What is happening right now?
He definitely was.
I had to get here to start the game, have played flawlessly, and now I'm getting replaced by Nathan Peterman?
Just for one throw? Yeah, I could definitely see that. Erik, great stuff as always. Do me a favor, let everyone know where they can find you online.
At EK Pass on X.
Great stuff, buddy. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy. Yeah, we'll talk to you after you watch the Bears live and in person for the second time this year, but out in Southern California this time.
That's right. That's right. All right, man.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Have a great one.
Bye now. Guys, that's Erik Kramer, former Chicago Bears quarterback, talking Bears football. So he says he thinks right now I think he might. It's early. It's only 8:44 over there. He's like, Justin, Tyson's better than Justin. I'm like, come on, Erik. All right, wake up, wipe the coal out your eye. Wipe the coal out your eye. I know he played good yesterday. He didn't play great. He didn't play Hall of Fame worthy. He didn't break records. He did what was asked to do. Was asked for him to do. He did it in an above average manner. And I like it. I want to see him go downfield more now. All right. And maybe that's the plan. Maybe it's this week. Maybe it's get your first win. This is crazy. You go in progressions. Why not do that with Justin? Oh, crazy idea. Progressions. You run the ball 38 times. So next week, we run the ball 34 times. Give him a couple more passes, a couple more deeper passes, maybe digs, maybe posts, maybe corners, maybe a go route once. Okay. And maybe that was held off this week because they didn't want people to see his arm. That's the only thing I could think of. Because next week when you go for deeper passes, you're going to go, you're going to intermediate to deep passes. You don't want people to know his arm strength. Okay. Maybe that's gamesmanship. I don't know. But I'll tell you what. Yesterday's game was fun. Yesterday's game was needed. Yesterday's game gave the city of Chicago a big sigh of relief, allowed us to have a big sigh of relief. Here's my stance. I think they're happy with Justin. He's got to get better. Of course, he's got to play better. And you have Justin and Tyson Bagent as your 1-2 quarterback, I think you're in pretty good hands. One, Tyson Bagent is not costing anything. He's not costing anything. Let me see. What? Let me double check. We talked about it the other Friday. Yeah. He's costing nothing. He signed 3 years, 2.7. Include a $25,000 signing bonus. $25,000. Do you realize people back in the 80s got a bigger signing bonus than this? $25,000 signing bonus and $25,000 guaranteed. An average salary of $900,000. 906,667. That's nothing. For the next 2 years, you owe him, and they give him more. The specific details are this. He's got 758 this year, 923 next year, and 1.038 in year 3. That is a nice spot to be in. And I think what the Bears are going to do, I think Ryan Poles is good on Justin. He just has to make sure that Luke Getsy continues to call games like yesterday when Justin's a starter. Run the ball 35 plus times. I think he's mesmerized by his athleticism, and he kind of strays away from that. I think if he stays to that 35 times, man. And you go get a haul for that number 1 overall pick if you have it. You get a first this year, a first next year, maybe a first. If it can only be 24, 25, and 26. You don't get 3 first-round draft picks. But yeah, 3 first-round draft picks. Give me 2 second-round picks for Caleb Williams and a player, because we see how Ryan Poles likes to mess around. No, you give me a player. But let's talk about free agency. Brian Burns, the kid, the young man out of Carolina. Maybe the Bears trade a second-round pick for him. Listen. If I had to trade a second-round pick for Robert Burns, or Brian Burns, Robert Burns is a running back, Brian Burns, the defensive tackle for the Carolina Panthers, I'd do it in a heartbeat. You know why? Because this second-round pick that you have, you don't know what it's going to be. You don't know if you draft a D tackle, if he's going to be a force. You don't know that. When you get that young man, you know you got a force. And there's also talk over in Washington. When they signed Deron Young, remember? Or Deron Payne? Chase Young, Deron Payne. Remember we were after Deron Payne? Like that would be our perfect 3-tech. Perfect 3-tech for us. And then Washington signs into an extension. So now they have to deal with, okay, Chase Young or Montez Sweat. They could tag one, and the other one's probably going to have to go. So you're going to have a lot of money on that defensive line. Are they willing to trade? You could trade a second and third round pick for one of those guys. This is why you have all that draft capital, not just to use it on draft picks. You could use it as trade bait, as capital in a trade. Because, again, you don't know what these picks are going to be. But when you get proven players in the National Football League, you have an idea of what they're going to be. A much more accurate, there you go, idea of how they're going to be. Now, people say, well, what about Yannick Ngakoue? He has averaged 8 sacks. He's got, what, 1 or 2 sacks? He's got time. He's definitely got time. Let's see what his stats are this year. Green Bay. So he's got 2 sacks. He hasn't had any less than 8 sacks a season in his career. There'll be a game where he gets 2. And it doubles. All of a sudden, now his sack total doubles to 4. He'll get one. He'll get a cheap one. End of the game, their team's down 10. They got to score twice. He'll get one there. He'll get to 8. Now, we'd love to see the consistency of one every game, one every other game. But as this defense is starting to play better, you'll see it. You'll see it. So I'm high on this team. Look, let's not get it twisted. I am not putting them in the Super Bowl by any stretch. Okay. I do have my Bears victory chain on today, though. And as we saw, this division is up for grabs. I mean, we're at the bottom of it. Don't get me wrong. And it would take a miracle for us to get back into contention. But I think we make a run. I think the last 6-7 games, starting pretty much now. His defense has been on the rise the last couple of weeks. His offense with Tyson is very efficient. They're moving the ball. And the one thing that Erik said that I agree with completely, he gets the ball. He reads things quickly. He reads things quickly. He reads it, gets the ball out. Doesn't take a lot of unnecessary hits. That's what you want. That's what you want from your quarterback. You know, Justin Fields needs to take notice and say, hey, look, this is what we're seeing. Because remember, Justin didn't have 2,000 pass attempts in college. Let's see. Here we go. Let me put college stats. Let me see. Here you go. College stats. Justin Fields college stats. Because this is gonna be completely different. All right. So Justin Fields, as a freshman at Georgia, 39 attempts. All right. He didn't get much time. They had Erik Kramer. Okay, I'm out. All right. 2019, as a sophomore at Ohio State, he had 354 attempts. 2020, the junior year, 225 attempts. So that right there gives you 579 attempts his last 2 years. Tyson Bagent had that his junior year alone. And then throw another 572 his senior year. So this is, he talked about repetition. Tyson Bagent talked about that. That's why he's able to process things so fast. But I completely, vehemently disagree with Erik that Tyson Bagent is better than Justin Fields right now. You give Justin Fields give him the ability to have his running backs carry the ball 38 times. 38 times. I know all of them weren't him. Tyson had a couple of carries, but that's fine. Give me 35 carries a game for Justin. Well, 35 running back carries. They run the ball 35 times and let Justin do his work. Come on now. You know, moving forward, schedule is as follows. All right, you go to San Diego, right, LA. All right, then you go to New Orleans. After that, and then you're back home with Carolina. You got to beat Carolina. They're 0-6. You got to beat those bad boys. This is a stretch, and then the Lions. Then you go to the Lions. All right? It's not far-fetched. All right? The Chargers are 2-4. We're 2-5. The Saints are 3-4. We're 2-5. All of a sudden, these games. Remember, this is the 5-game stretch. Like, imagine if in the Denver game, Eberflus kicks the field goal, we win, and then the Minnesota game where we should have won, but we lost. We're on a 4-game win streak, and this conversation is completely different. Kick the field goal. That's all we were saying. Kick the God bless the field goal in the Denver game. They're not that far off. And just being realistic, that loss was on Eberflus, the Denver game. Imagine if we had a 4-game win streak going into SoFi to face the Chargers. That's a whole different feel, whole different convo, whole different a lot of shit. So we're not that far off. Now the defense is playing better. Like, I don't see any team that I'm really scared of. All right? I don't. Chargers? Nope. Saints at the same. Carolina comes here? Nope. We better business. Then we go to Detroit? Nope. We already beat Minnesota, so nope. Then we got to bye. Then Detroit comes here December 10th. Not fearful of them. And Cleveland comes here. Cleveland's 4-2. That's going to be a tough one. Arizona comes here. Christmas Eve. They're 1-6 right now. I don't feel. Atlanta. They're 4-3. But for some reason, I am not worried about them. And then Green Bay. Green Bay's 2-4. We are 2-5. There's a lot of games to be had for us in the remainder of this season. 10 games left. Give me a 6. Don't tell me we go 7-3. 5-5 would be good, but we'll see. Hey, listen, man, 2 hours is come and gone. I want to thank everyone who joined in the chat today. Man, this thing was live today. Derek Carter is in here. Cornelius Squalls, my man Junior, Luis Mejia. Vernon was in here. Patty was in here. AC Adam. A newer guy in there. Appreciate it. Who else? There's another newer name that I saw in there. Oh, Arturo Arnold. Brandon Schutz. All you guys, I appreciate it. All right, make sure you tune in today, 12:15. Second City Sports with Lakina McGee and Sydney Brown. I'll take you on another sports talk journey for another 2 hours. Then tonight, 6 o'clock. What's up, cuz? Lance C. Irvin, the coach, along with his cousin, Jason Palmer. They're on it. What's up, cuz? Tonight, 6 o'clock. This show will re-air at 4 o'clock today, leading right up to What's Up, cuz at 6. Make sure you check that out. All right. Thank you from everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago. Elliot Baez, our executive producer, Clarence Counsell, our social media guy, and my co-host, Adam Sanchez, Maya Kai. Guys, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Sean Sierra. I appreciate you. Appreciate the love. Okay. Guys, have a great, great day. Make it a great, great week. It's Monday. Turn beast mode on. Turn beast mode on. All right. I'm out of here, boy, guys. Have a phenomenal day. I'll see you on Wednesday. Deuces.